What is up, everybody? I am back, and today I'm looking at my 6th ever video and 5th ever evolution, the evolution of the Xenomorph. Now this is the first sci-fi character that I've covered. I had done Batman, then Freddy Krueger, and then I followed up with the Xenomorph. Now the Xenomorph itself has an evolution inside of its own first movie, and then the character, or the creature if you will, changes a lot throughout each film iteration. And sometimes that's because like the hosts change, but for the most part it's just because they needed it to sell toys to kids. Which is a weird franchise to do that in, but you know what? Here's a toy that I got myself when I was a kid. I had no idea that it was the creepy half-human, half-alien hybrid, but this is like probably one of the first like sci-fi horror like things that I bought when I was a kid. Oh, sci-fi that wasn't like Star Wars related, because I bought like a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff. Still buy a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff. So this is the weird hybrid. And I am a huge fan of the Alien series. The first two films are amazing. I think there's something different about the sci-fi elements because you're actually in space a lot of times, out in the middle of nowhere, out on some weird planet or something. And that's kind of makes this like a more unique franchise. I even have them on DVD, the first 4. This is an amazing box set. It has 9 discs or 10 discs or something. Really cool artwork on it. I think there's a Blu-ray collection, more or less, that has all the same stuff now, but it's not as cool as this. It's just crazy. And I also do have a smaller trilogy collection. I wish I could find the quadrilogy collection. I believe it's out there in VHS. So, I think I proved myself as a fan of this series. So now let's jump into the video and, yeah, just let you know a little bit more about the creative process and stuff that was going through my head. So, without any further ado, let's jump into it right now.
Unraveling the Xenomorph life cycle is quite the task. From the face...
So, this is kind of the first intro that does something a little bit different, because a lot of times it's just the title and the character popping up or popping out. This one I did like a unraveling the Xenomorph lifestyle. I wanted something kind of neat there, so I was like, how about we unravel like a blueprint or something? Which is similar to something I did inside of the Bass and Hound video. Gal, if you want to put that up there, go ahead, somewhere. So I wanted to do something similar in a video that people might actually watch, because at the time the origin of the Bass and Hound probably had like only thousands of views. I think it crossed 1 million now. So yeah, I wanted to use this same concept for the Alien.
Huggers to the mysterious black goo, let's piece this puzzle together.
And I thought it was kind of a cool transition to have the black goo come up, and then it fills the screen, and then you see the star background, which I would use again in all my Star Wars videos. And then at the bottom you can see, thank you, Ridley Scott and H.R. Geiger. Ridley Scott, of course, started the Alien franchise, and H.R. Geiger's designs inspired the Alien, and he worked on the original Alien design and some of the sequels, although he didn't get credited for some of his work. They both did amazing stuff here to get this franchise going.
The original Alien film depicts the Xenomorph beginning its life cycle as a fleshy egg, which, when approached, releases a crab-like facehugger that attaches itself.
That's a little animated version of John Hurt. He, of course, plays one of the space people from the first film, and for the longest time, he never gave his rights to like any toys. So, like, if you got a toy of John Hurt, it would have like this alien already on its face, so they could just release like a version of that character without having to get the rights for his face.
Up to a human face. Eventually, the facehugger lets go, and the slithering chestburster breaks through from the chest of the host. Within a few hours, the chestburster...
So yeah, somehow that little thing grows into that within a few hours in the film. I have no idea how this life cycle works, but it's creepy and it's cool.
Grows into the biomechanical-looking Xenomorph, with a translucent domed head and an extra snapping...
So yeah, this is the only film that uses the translucent domed head, and you can kind of see like the more like skull-looking thing underneath. It's a very cool look. It looks almost like a machine mixed with an alien, but it's also mixed with like, you know, like a skeleton of like a human. I think they kind of explain that later on because like kind of takes on the traits of that host. And yeah, you can see like a little cartoony cat. That's the cat from the film. I really like that it survived.
Good job.
And this same animation here, I would more or less use that in my Leprechaun one in space when he gets pushed out from the vacuum of space as well. You can maybe put that clip up here. Swooshed out or whatever.
The sequel, Aliens, features xenomorphs with ridged heads.
So yeah, I don't mention like the different coloring of aliens in this whole series really, because like they kind of change like with each film, just like slightly variant. I would probably mention that now if I were to do a remake of this and like include more detail.
And extra defense appendages on their arm.
Yeah, and they added those like weird little ridges on their arm. I have no idea what they are. I just scripted them as defense appendages, because that would make sense. Kind of like he's like blocking like hits or something.
A queen alien is also depicted in this film and produces a fleshy egg every few seconds.
Yeah, the queen alien. The special effects they did for the queen alien, like the full-on model and stuff, I think that's one of the coolest effects of any film ever.
In Alien 3, a facehugger uses a dog, or an ox, as a host.
I believe it's a dog in the theatrical cut, but it's an ox in the producer's cut, and that explains why this alien is more quadrupedal. But like, I'm not exactly sure, and I think at some point in production they wanted to actually put like a dog in a costume, a dog in a little costume or something of the xenomorph, and that would be like the halfway point of the alien cycle. It did not look good, obviously, and they went with like CGI. I don't think the effects hold up as well in this film, but they tried a lot of stuff, and you know, some stuff looks good, some stuff looks bad.
Resulting in a quadrupedal xenomorph. This xeno is the first to appear noticeably less by.
I was like, how can I show that he looks organic without having to like change the look of this model? How about they sell them as like a sack of potatoes? So that was my idea, and that's why he's just holding a sack of less biomechanic potatoes, but just as deadly.
Biomechanical, and for this film only, is lacking its back dorsal tubes. The domed head, while less translucent, makes a reappearance.
Yep, the domed head was back in this one, but yeah, it's not nearly as transparent as the first film, and yeah, they got rid of the dorsals.
Alien Resurrection depicts xenomorph.
So this one has like, they're like red and black in this film. If I were to do this again, I would like show all the different variants of the aliens in each film and like show just different colorings, because I think there's some interesting looks that I kind of like skipped out on.
Morphs with longer tails and arms, perfect for swimming. As a result of DNA splicing, a pale alien human.
There's the toy. So yeah, I don't know if like they made him too green in the toy, or if I made him too pale. I'll have to look at some behind the scenes stuff if I ever do this again. And see, they don't show the pupils in this, but I think he does have pupils.
Human clone hybrid is born, but not even a mother could love it.
This is the first time you see Ridley? No, Ripley. Oh my god. It's Ridley Scott. The character is Ripley. I think if they ever brought her back for like a Legacy sequel, I might do an evolution on Ripley. She's got some cool looks, and like the weird alien hybrids that they create of her, that creepy little thing. But if they ever brought her back, I think she'd make an interesting video herself.
In the first Alien vs. Predator film, xenomorphs appear similar to those from Resurrection, aside from the alien that dons an artful grid on its skull.
I do like the grid look. That's the main alien in the film. You gotta like differentiate it in some way.
This time, xenomorphs go face to face with.
That is not the greatest version of a Predator I've ever drawn. I would do a Predator video, I believe 3 videos from now here.
With Predators, culminating in the birth of a Predalien chestburster. In the sequel, Alien vs. Predator Requiem, xenomorphs have ridged heads again. The Predalien.
I don't know why they keep messing around with the ridged heads and domed heads. It's like different directors like different things. But this film itself is a mess.
Chestburster from the previous film matures, resulting in an alien with Predator.
I like that design I did of the Predalien? Predalien? I don't know. How do you want to pronounce it?
Great. It's stated in these crossover films that there has been an ongoing fight between predators and aliens since Egyptian times, which contradicts the following film's timelines. So, let's...
And that's a reference to Monty Python. I don't know too much about Monty Python, but I just remember like the big foot squishing stuff. And I was like, I could do that. I think it's kind of funny. And it's like a reference that not many people got, but there you go. A little behind the scenes thing for you.
Forget about that. The prequel, Prometheus, introduces godlike beings called engineers and black goo, which can alter DNA in
just like the way he like changes into that weird looking thing.
Mysterious ways. An android called David gets a hold of the goo and uses it to infect a scientist who gets busy with his girlfriend and
I really had to like figure out how to do this without like it being too sensual. I was like, how can I show this? It just pop up. It's just a mass there. You don't really see anything happening.
Creates the premature squid-like
But like Prometheus is it's a messy film, but I think I appreciate it more than a lot of the other sequels. It's my favorite like entry in it since Aliens. I think it goes back to like the more like visceral horror sci-fi rather than like the action sci-fi that a lot of the movies had since like the second film. And yeah, I like it.
The trilobite grows and uses an engineer as a host, producing a smooth alien called a deacon.
The deacon's kind of like a precursor to the xenomorph. I don't love the look for the deacon, and he's barely seen in it, although like I kind of like my cartoony version of the deacon here.
Sequel, Alien Covenant, depicts plants being affected by the black.
I think this is the first time where there's like actually a zoom in the video.
Goo, creating egg sacs. When the sacs are disturbed, spores are released and enter a human through any orifice. Once a host is infected, the spiky-backed bloodburster will burst out, first in quadrupedal form, then evolving into the bipedal standing neomorph.
That should have a tail on it. I don't know why I didn't draw a tail, but it bothers me to this day still.
Meanwhile, the android David continues experiments with the goo, mixing it with human cells and other mystery pieces to make a xenomorph, egg sac, and facehugger. He finds a human host, and soon a tiny, nearly fully formed version of the xenomorph.
This is such a weird part of the movie. Like, I do have my characters waving sometimes in my animations, but like, I think there's actually a part in this video where like the little xenomorph gives him like a little wave like that. It's so weird. And yeah, I'm not sure why the chest burster is like a fully formed xenomorph in this movie. I don't know what Ridley Scott was thinking. I guess he just wanted him to look more like a human so that you can like look at David and him as like father and son.
Bursts out of the human experimentee. It grows into a thin and more organic looking xenomorph, leading many to call this a protomorph. But whether David was working...
I'm not sure if that's like canonical that it's called a protomorph, but like, yeah, it definitely has like different look to it. It's the first time where Ridley Scott had like a CGI creation of his character, so I think he wanted it to be like less human, so that's why it's like more slim. That's why like a lot of his features are smaller, not as spiky. So I'm not sure if it's actually a protomorph, but that's just what people call it. So that's what I go with.
From a blueprint or his own invention isn't known.
And yeah, this blueprint here is like meant to harken back to the intro. And then if you look at the little sign, also available in dog.
Is that Ridley Scott will surely release another Alien.
And this is the first time I show a director of one of the movies, like breaking the fourth wall of the series that I'm covering.
In film that changes the life cycle yet again, rendering this entire video completely worthless.
And that's the end of the Xenomorph video. So yeah, I really like how this video turned out. It was the first one where it was like a creature, less humanoid. It wasn't like the suit change. It was like, how does a creature change? Wasn't quite comfortable enough like showing the changes between the characters. I think my Godzilla video really like cemented how I should do creature videos in the future, rather than this one where you like just like see like little differences. I think it has its charm to it for sure. It's obviously very simple, there's very few truck-ins, but yeah, there's definitely like things that I like about it. I know that they're working on new movies or a TV show or something inside the Alien franchise right now, and I think they're probably gonna reboot it again. I think they said they might want to do like a third film with Ridley Scott to finish off his trilogy. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. I hope it does. I don't want them to like just leave all these threads in the air. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the evolution of the Xenomorph when you first saw it. Let me know what you think about this creator commentary. And let me know what you think about the Alien franchise in general. And until next time, I've been Aaron, and I'll tell you something later. It's not as cool as this. It's creepy and it's cool. Really cool. It's so cool. This is just too cool. And yeah, I like it.